Financial losses left them no choice. With the island's biggest employer shutting down, will Obama or the EPA offer bailouts? Probably not. These aren't union jobs, you see. These are, well, there are no campaign donations to be kicked back from these people. And when St. Croix collapses, you know who will be blamed. Bain Capital. The 1%, anybody but Obama. Expensive legal fees should not stand between you and your New Year's resolution. If you've resolved to finally make that will or living trust to protect your loved ones, just go to LegalZoom.com. If this is the year to take control of your finances and start your own business, LegalZoom.com. Their step-by-step process makes it simple, and you get total customer support, including attorney help if you need it. Over 2 million people have saved a small fortune by using LegalZoom, including many of those who started companies on the Inc. 500 list. Maybe that's why they're so successful. For personal and business documents that have been accepted in courts and government agencies in all 50 states, you can trust LegalZoom. Attorney support is provided through independent attorneys available in most states. LegalZoom is not a lawyer, and self-help services are provided at your direction. For a better way to do the law, go to LegalZoom.com.
I'm sure you're thinking, boy, I'd like to pay less for my car insurance, but switching seems like a lot of work. All the hassle and whatnot. Well, I'm here to tell you that is simply not the case. Geico makes it so easy to switch and start saving money straight away, without getting buried in a ton of paperwork. You know, that actually happened to me once. Literally, I was buried under my income taxes for 6 days. Haunting, really.
For a free rate quote, visit Geico.com. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
At Advance Auto Parts, we don't do anything just part way. We go full throttle. We won't just sell you a new battery, we'll install it too. Fast and free with purchase on most vehicles. We'll install your battery so fast, we don't even have a waiting room. Why? Because we're not big fans of standing around. We're all about getting things done. Fast, free battery installation at Advance Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Advance Auto Parts. See store for details.
Is your car battery ready to start every time this winter? Don't get stranded in the cold. If your battery is 4 years or older, then you may be at risk. Get your battery tested today. If it needs replacing, get a ruggedly dependable Duralast battery. Duralast batteries are proven tough in the most extreme conditions and sold only at AutoZone. So even when the temperature drops, you can expect every trip to have a good start with help from AutoZone. Parts are just part of what they do.
Here's the 58 WCHS AccuWeather forecast. Mostly cloudy today. Today's high 41. Cloudy tonight with some rain and drizzle. Temperatures holding about steady. Rainy weather for tomorrow morning and through the midday hours. Then lots of clouds tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures holding steady right around 40. The second half of the weekend looks nice. It'll be sunny and noticeably warmer Sunday afternoon. An unseasonably mild high of 56 on Sunday. I'm AccuWeather's Eric Wilhelm on 58 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management of 58 WCHS or of West Virginia Radio Corporation.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to Ask the Expert. We've got a very special one on this morning. Someone you've heard on our radio shows, advertising. She does a great job of reaching out to her clients and saying, come on in. I want to show you some really cool stuff that might really help you in a big, big way. It's Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey, and she'll be visiting us for the next hour, giving you a full chance to call in and ask about a number of things that might interest you, including the subject of sleep apnea. We'll be able to help you with that during this hour. And I know a lot of you have that issue, or you're thinking about doing something about it and not sure what to do. Or you wake up with symptoms of having had it, and you're wondering, what's going on? Maybe we'll answer some of that for you as well. We'll be talking a lot about those things. The signs of sleep apnea are going to be coming your way as well. We'll tell you how to be in touch with Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey in Hurricane, easily to get to, and the ways that you can talk to her office even today if you care to. Sleep apnea all by itself is one of those things I think a lot of folks have heard of, especially older folks as they grow older and then their body changes. Seems to me what happens is that you start slipping into these new realms of sleeping, interesting things happening. You know, like waking yourself up over a big, loud snore or gasping for air. in the middle of the night, which for me is happening now. I'm having a little bit of that kind of thing. And it's kind of frightening, Dr. Bailey, when you first have it and you think, is this going to be a trend? Or can I control this somehow? And then it always brings me back to the interesting aspects of your own advertisements, which say you can have a fitted appliance to help you through the night so that you don't deal with stop breathing or snoring so loud that you raw out your throat and so forth. Can you talk a little bit more about sleep apnea as you know it, kind of where it's come from and where it is today in treatment?
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Rick, for such a nice introduction. Sleep apnea is just an abnormal pause in breathing. I thought it'd be important to say what it is. And, when you stop breathing for over 10 seconds, that's definition of a sleep apnea. And there's also a hypopnea thing, which is low breathing. It's an abnormally low breathing. So when you're snoring at night or you have cessation of breath, as in you stop breathing, then that's a life-threatening kind of condition.
People actually do stop for more than 10 seconds and then just kind of come back later on? Is that actually happening and over repetitively?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We do home sleep studies for some of our patients, people who are fearful to go into a sleep lab. And we do have a board-certified physicians that we work with who score these. We're always amazed when we look at polysomnographies or home sleep studies. Some people can stop breathing for over a minute.
My word. I've held my breath for a minute underwater and playing games like that, but it always made me feel like my lungs were going to explode.
Well, the bad side effect for holding your breath, and I do have some people who have gone for almost 2 minutes without breathing at all, but the bad side effect is there's no oxygen. When you do not get adequate oxygen, cells cannot stay healthy, and that's when you get some of the signs and symptoms that are the comorbidities or the side effect of not getting oxygen to your system.
Which would be?
Well, one of the signs and symptoms that people will need to be aware of, the basic ones are you just have daytime fatigue and a very slow reaction time. Sometimes you have visual problems, and the other thing is memory.
All right, so if you're a person that wakes up in the morning and has to have 5 cups of coffee because you don't feel like you can get yourself into focus, maybe there's a reason for that.
Absolutely.
Other than just needing caffeine.
Correct. And one of the other ones that is really at the forefront is there's motor vehicular accidents. I'm always amazed. In 1 week, I had 2 consultations with people who came with sleep apnea, and I said, have you ever wrecked your car? And 2 people in 1 week had fallen asleep at the wheel and wrecked their car. That's 2 people in a week came to see me for a consultation that had severe sleep apnea.
What's the other thing? Narcolepsy? How closely is that related to this sort of activity, where a person just walks along and suddenly falls asleep?
Well, that's a different medical condition. It's not in the apnea range. There's actually 3 types of apnea. Narcolepsy is not in the 3 types of apnea. There's a central, an obstructive, and a mixed. And the central is just where the brain as controlling the respiration doesn't work.
It's like out of gas.
Right. Correct. And a small percentage of people, only 4% of the population, have central sleep apnea. But the most common one is obstructive sleep apnea. You're asleep, you stop breathing.
Okay. Obstructive meaning that maybe something got in the way of the breathing tube. Your tongue, your what do you call the little flap in the back there? These things start getting in the way. Is that what? Tell me about that. Come on. I know there's something like that because I can hear it.
Well, actually, what's happening is you have dilator muscles in the back of your throat. Uh-huh. And that's what holds your airway. And sometimes when I'm talking to patients, I call it the pipeline. That's what holds the airway open. So when a patient falls asleep, all of these muscles, including the tongue, falls backwards and the muscles go very lax. So the airway actually will collapse. It's almost, if you'd imagine a garden hose that you would pinch, that it actually will collapse because the dilator muscles, they lose the ability to hold rigidity.
I'm sort of getting it. But I notice, for example, that this changes with your life, with the growth of your body. For example, I'm a lot heavier now than I was even 2 months ago because of some steroid taking, and I'm plumped up and did all the things that happen when you go on steroids. Well, immediately following my 40-pound growth in body, I've got this waking myself up in the middle of the night, gagging for air, or hearing this extraordinary noise, which was, I assume, a snore. It's caused my dog to leave the room. And when I hear him hit the door, I know that I probably snored him out. And I've never done that in my life. I've been a peaceful side, sleeping on my side kind of a guy that never wakes up with us. I wake up with laughter. I have often woken up with laughter because my dreams are wonderful. But this thing is altogether new, and I thought of you the moment. See, that's how it works. You're out there talking about, sleep apnea and your devices. And I think, okay, now I'm having this problem. The first person that came to mind was you. Because I wonder if I have something I'm going to be able to treat easily, or am I going to have to go to devices to get through the night and get a good night's sleep? And I can tell you when I've had a bad night. I can tell when I've woken up too many times. Talk to me, doctor.
Well, it is a huge issue because 1 in 15 Americans, they suffer from this. And it very much goes undiagnosed. Now, predominantly, this is men in this range. 24% are men, 9% are women. But different things affect your sleep pattern. And with you saying you're on a medication now that has altered your weight, obesity is a huge spin-off factor that causes a problem for people. Because, not only do you put on extra body mass in other parts of your body, your tongue actually will get bigger at the same time. You have fat cells, adipose cells in your throat and your tongue. So obesity is a huge thing. Muscle relaxers, people who are doing different medications. If you take a muscle relaxer, it's great to help you sleep at night, but it also relaxes those dilator muscles of your throat. So those people also have difficulty with it. And then you have to consider smoking and alcohol.
Yeah, well, I don't have to deal with those at this time in my life, but and really, I'm not being self-righteous. I can't because of the medications and all, but I have noticed that change. And I think you hit a point there. I keep forgetting about medicines that actually do have the relaxing effect that may be more involved in what's happening with me than even the weight. Perhaps, I don't know, but I do know one thing: when you wake up gasping for air, it's a horrible feeling to grab for that one big breath and try to bring back comfort. And I can't imagine people who do this all the time or have a situation where they're losing sleep or they're waking up with anxiety. And certainly if they're waking up with not enough sleep, they're going to have anxiety during the day. So it kind of catapults, doesn't it? It snowballs into all kinds of other issues if you don't repair that sleep function.
Oh, the risks that come along with this are huge. You have cardiovascular disease. That's one of your spin-offs from this. Strokes, cardiac arrhythmias, diabetes, increased blood pressure. So there are a lot of comorbidities. Impotence is another one that goes with it.
Well, I got all of them. Just go ahead and put them all on the list. And even the big one at the end, I got it. But I blame it all on medication, and the medication is a result of other issues. So I don't know where to point anymore. But the one that's aggravating me right now is this sleep thing, and you've nailed it. It not only aggravates you during the night, but look at the list of things that you're also going to have to deal with, or could be dealing with, as a result of not repairing this one simple function of the day, the most important function. If you don't count your breakfast, is getting that good night's sleep. I have to ask you this, and maybe you don't deal with this as much, but people tell me, I hear these all the time, I get by with 5 hours sleep and I'm good to go. And I think, well, you think you do, and that's good. And maybe you're so designed that you can. But a lot of people preach that as if they're, I'm a type A personality, so I don't need much sleep. And I'm finding out more and more in life. I consider myself a type A personality who's always been active in my life, always been pushing to the next rung. But I find out lately, if I don't get certain hours of sleep at night, and it isn't 5, I can't function. I'll get a couple of hours, and then it's over. I start slumping very, very badly. So sleep seems to be really important, and I don't know how it breaks down by age. Babies needing more than middle-aged people, and then older people needing 14 hours or 12 hours. I don't know. But it would seem to me it would be the best prescription for life is to make sure you're getting a whole night's sleep, whatever it is you absolutely need to function for a whole day. Morning, noon, and night.
Well, they've done all kinds of studies on what's really required, and 6 to 8 hours is what you need to stay healthy as an adult. Children, of course, need more sleep. There are some studies that show if you sleep too much, it's also harmful to your health. So, but for the average adult, 6 to 8 hours, I think that children need to get more sleep. And in today's society, we've changed what we did, from 20 years ago. We have all kinds of electronic devices now and music and TVs in the bedroom, and that's really altered the sleep pattern of children and adults alike.
There are so many people who can't even go to bed at night without what I call the white noise. And that can sometimes be as simple as a sound that doesn't really draw your attention, but it does soothe you. 2, I've got to go off to sleep listening to Andy Griffith on the old black and white reruns on TV at 12:30 at night, and then it goes till 2. Yeah, you're right. Too much stimuli is there, and if you can't find a way to shut it all off and get to bed, you might not get that sleep. Yeah, you're going to say.
Well, my children, they think that I'm a bad parent because I make them go to bed early. They say, oh, my friends, they go to bed at 10 and 11 and 12. But I make my children, or I try to make sure that my children are in bed by 9 o'clock. My son now is 15. He can go to bed at 9:30. But I really want my children to be very well rested because that way they're better students. So I encourage all parents, look at the sleep pattern of your children and make sure that they are getting enough sleep, because if children have problems with their sleep early when they grow up, you actually can shorten the lifespan of the child if they're not sleeping the adequate amount of time.
In their early years.
In the early years. Start good habits early.
I suppose what's happening there is that if you have bad habits in the early stages, you're causing yourself to perhaps develop heart disease at early stages that progresses through your life, or other genetic issues could be changed and cause you to have or predispose you to having other illnesses later. So you pay later. You may not be paying now, but you're going to pay later.
And, it's very important for parents to realize that children watch their sleep pattern. Children have sleep apnea, and we're catching more of it all the time. This is becoming much more prevalent. If you could catch it early, it's a wonderful thing. But observe your child while they sleep and see if they stop breathing.
I love the statistics on this because it kind of bears out where we all are, whether we think we are or not. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, a little bit about stats, but mostly when I come back from break, I want to get into the signs and symptoms that we can readily look at, the kinds of things I was describing to you this morning, whether or not they fit the pattern of a person who's got sleep apnea or not. Let's talk about those when we come back, and then let's encourage your calls right now. If you'd like to talk with Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey right now and ask a question about sleep apnea, snoring, other sleep issues you might have, the devices that you've heard about or read about or maybe visited her about, if you want to talk about those devices and how they work and what are your options, give us a call right now during the break. Anthony's behind the glass producing the show. He'll take your calls and stream them right into us so we can talk to you here on the air this morning. It's a comfortable way to do that. 345-5858 is the number to call. 345-5858. We'll be back right after this on 58 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
It's time to renew a January tradition in West Virginia. Join the West Virginia Trophy Hunters for the 26th annual West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show, going on now through Sunday at the Charleston Civic Center. Always a good time. You'll see hundreds of outdoor vendors with an array of gear on display, including several new vendors. You can talk to hunting and fishing guides and book your expedition anywhere in the world, plus taxidermy, ATVs, wildlife art, loads of hunting and fishing gear, and much, much more. Don't miss the Whitetail Hall of Fame, featuring some of the biggest bucks killed in West Virginia. The DNR is going to be there scoring antlers, plus coyote hunting seminars with Tom Becker. And the West Virginia Raptor Center will be on hand with their birds of prey. Friday hours noon to 9, Saturday 9 to 9, and Sunday 9 to 5. Tickets are $7 for adults, $1 for kids age 6 to 12, and under 6, get in free. It's the 26th annual West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show, going on now through Sunday at the Charleston Civic Center. We'll see you there.
The holiday deals at Moses Factory Outlet have been so incredible, you'll wish you had more time to take advantage of them.
Well, now you do at the 13-month sale at Moses Factory Outlet, home of the Giant Tent Sale.
Last year's pricing on every vehicle in stock.
13 is your lucky number because West Virginia's largest factory outlet is clearing out over 1,000 used vehicles for taxes, so Uncle Sam's loss is your gain.
Stop by today and register to win a $1,000 gift certificate to Kohl's. No purchase necessary.
13-month sale is going on now.
Only at Moses Factory Outlet in Tays Valley.
And Moses Factory Outlet on Corridor G, home of the Giant Tent Sale.
Only the Home Depot has the new Delta Zella bath faucet. At just $69, this distinctive high arc faucet brings a new twist to the old idea that to be stylish is to be expensive. Plus, it's WaterSense certified, which saves not only water, but water bills. Let the savings flow with the stylish new Delta Zella bath faucet for an amazingly low $69. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. U.S. only. See store for details.
Are you ready for winter driving in West Virginia? Where there's ice and snow, take it slow or don't go. The best thing you can do to drive safely in the winter is slow down. Remember that speed limits are for dry and clear driving conditions. If you would like a winter item checklist for your vehicle, go to our website, transportation.wv.gov, and learn what you should have with you at all times when driving in the winter. A safety message from the West Virginia Department of Transportation, Division of Highways, and the Safety Management Task Force, saving one life at a time.
It's the sale you've been waiting for, the Contemporary Galleries Winter Sale. Contemporary Galleries is cleaning house to make room for new stock. Now through January 28th, all gift and accessory items are 50% off regular prices. Lighting, artwork, and area rugs are 30% off. Furniture and special orders are 20% off. And many items are red tagged for even greater savings. It'll be a long time before you save like this again. The Contemporary Galleries Winter Sale, 1210 Smith Street in Charleston's Warehouse District.
Well, welcome back to Ask the Expert. Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey is in the seat with us this morning, and she's she really is an expert on sleep apnea, sleep disorders, the percentages and statistics of people dealing with that, and what your options are to helping to correct it. Mainly, not to keep you from being the snorer so much and helping your partner. That's a side effect. It's to get you through a good night's sleep and give you all the rest you actually need. Hey, Mark, how are you over there in Scott Depot? We appreciate the call this morning. What's your question or comment for Dr. Bailey?
I actually have a comment and a question. You were talking about driving the dog out of the room. My wife used to have a little Pomeranian before he passed away, and he slept in our bed. And he used to wake me up in the middle of the night, and I'd get so irritated. Then I found out I had sleep apnea, and the dog was probably saving my life. So if any of your listeners are out there in a similar situation, an animal's waking them up in the middle of the night, and they might have, be overweight or whatever, maybe the dog's trying to tell you that you're not breathing properly and is waking you up. On another note, I use a CPAP machine, which I despise. And I've heard your commercials, Dr. Bailey, about some sort of an oral device that can be used for sleep apnea. Would that be something that could replace my CPAP machine?
In some cases, Mark, thank you for calling in. Some cases, an oral appliance can replace a CPAP, but it depends on the severity. Now, one thing that we do in my office is when we put an oral appliance in a patient, we do a before study, and after you're wearing the appliance, we either send you back to the lab to have a formal sleep study, or we do a home sleep study so we can make sure what we're doing is effective. Because, efficacy-wise, you want to make sure if you are helping the person or not. So in some cases, if it's mild to moderate, an oral appliance works wonderful. And if you are severe, do you know what you are, Mark? Did they give you a label?
I don't recall. It's been a number of years, and at one point I was up to about 340 pounds. Now I'm under 300.
Well, wonderful.
And so, let's take another 100 off that, then I'll be talking wonderful. But it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what the situation is, and I made a comment to my doctor the other day that I need to have a new sleep study done, and he kind of was, focused on what we're doing. So the next time I'm in there, I'm going to bring that up again and say, hey, let's see what we can do. And ironically, his office, Dr. Sandan, is right down the street from your office, because I'm assuming you're still in the Sevilla building. But, so that's something that I'm going to be looking into.
Did you have your sleep study at home, Mark?
No, sir. I had it done. The most recent time I had it done at Thomas Memorial Hospital, and or their facility there, and they treated me wonderfully. And then the time before that, I had it done in Kanawha City, in a building across the street from the old Watt Powell Park.
Yes. It sounds good. I mean, he makes some good points there, and the options is one of the things we wanted to talk about on this segment. And I know you've got a pretty good option if it works for him, for Mark. I appreciate the comment about the dog because truly, I think my dog has basically said, you really need to do something about this. So I'm going to take adherence to that.
It's amazing what pets can tell us. And I used to scold this little Pomeranian for waking me up, and I found out later he was probably saving my life. So needless to say, he got himself a nice steak and a few attaboys. But unfortunately, for a while, he was kind of taking the heat. Apparently was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me, but you ask him what he's doing, he doesn't. He just kind of looks at you. But apparently he was trying to keep me alive, and I was responding like probably any grumpy old man would do in the middle of the night.
That's right. Yeah,
let me sleep.
I'm that guy too. But yeah, I get your point. It's it's well taken, Doctor. What about it for Mark? He's doing the CPAP now. I mean, are you comfortable with that? Is it working for you?
Is it working for me?
Yeah.
I sleep well. I just hate it. It's ugly. It's not attractive. And I could sleep okay with it. But for example, I'm on my way. When I called in, I was in Scott Depot. I'm now on 35 on my way to Columbus, and I'm having to pack the CPAP. I'm going out west for a week to for some business and for a niece's wedding, and I have to haul that sucker wherever I go, and I'm kind of tired of it.
Well, in some cases, we can use an oral appliance to replace this, especially my hikers or my travelers. We put an oral appliance in that opens up the airway and that lets them leave the CPAP at home. Now, some of my very severe patients, Mark, they wear both, which has a beautiful effect. If you open the airway, then you can turn your pressure down on your CPAP. And in some cases, I build the CPAP to the oral appliance, which gets rid of the straps. That's one of the biggest complaints about CPAPs. They leak, the straps around. I have some ladies that go to church, it messes up their hair. So we can do alternatives.
I wish I had enough hair to mess up.
I had a feeling. Okay, so that's not an issue for you. But you
I mean, the strap has never been an issue. It's just, it's not attractive. And it's, just a hassle. It's not painful. My father was supposed to have one, and he got rid of his, and I don't know what he's doing now. My wife was supposed to have one, and she ended up having gastric bypass and didn't need it anymore, which was good because she wouldn't use it anyway. And so while everybody else complains about it, I might get through with it. It's just a hassle that I'd like to eliminate. And literally one of the things that I had to pack, for this trip this morning was to pop that CPAP into a bag and take it to the airport. And it's one more thing to deal with on the trip, and I'm tired of it.
And Mark, the statistics out there, about 80%, 60 to 80% of all CPAPs, they end up in someone's closet. So, the people are not using it because it is a hassle. I'm glad that you can wear yours successfully because you're in that percentage of people, the small percentage, that can tolerate a CPAP.
Well, and, I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but, it does help me. But the bottom line is that, I may be giving your office a call and seeing about working with you on that to see, because it has been a while since I've had a sleep study done, and we have the insurance now, so I might as well, and, see what we could do. But, it gives me some options, and in the worst case scenario, we readjust the CPAP and, maybe move forward with a better machine or something like that. But, thanks for taking my call.
Well, yes. Thank you.
I hope I didn't dominate your show, but
Actually,
I found it to be informative.
That's the stuff we're looking for, Mark, is people just like you who have a comment on what's going on in their lives and how it's working, what they're using now, or would they like to have something else. And Dr. Bailey, a great job. She's giving you another opportunity here. I'm going to give you a number here, Mark, too, and I'm going to put it out over the air at this time as well. The local number is, of course, 304-757-7428. That's 757-7428. The same number with an 866 in front of it is toll free, 866-757-7428. So you can use it either way. We'll give those numbers again before the end of the show, but if you give her a call, you can also have those sleep studies done at home. That's another option for you. So if you're more comfortable in a place at home, maybe that makes it a little easier to get that part of it done. That's up to you. But Dr. Jeannie K does offer that opportunity. Thanks for your call, Mark.
One question, do you do those sleep studies on the weekends so that it works with somebody's work schedule?
I can do that, Mark, but I like it during the weekdays because you have to drop it off the next day, so this can be downloaded to the computer. But it's important for everybody to realize, I am not competing with doctors that have the sleep labs. The doctors that have the sleep labs are the ones who review this, and I have board-certified physicians who actually review these because I cannot make a diagnosis. So I have physicians I work with that do score that. But if you could do it Monday through Friday, that would be much better for my office. I would make special arrangements if there is a problem with your travel.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. And
all right, Mark, thanks for the call in from Scott Depot. We appreciate you a lot. You can call now as well, too, 345-5858. Any comments, questions, or ideas? You want to explore some things. Or maybe it's not you. Maybe it's your spouse or your dog. Yeah, speaking of my dog, who doesn't like my snoring, he also has become a snorer as he's become more and more comfortable in my home, and it's getting louder and louder, and I also notice him occasionally taking a long time between breaths. Do dogs and pets have these kinds of issues? I didn't expect you to have the answer for that necessarily. I'm just asking.
Well, is your dog overweight?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's because of me, and I'm getting in trouble for it at home. I have to change that a little bit. It's all my fault. He has great food and lots of vitamins and minerals, and we give him all the right treatments, but I have trouble I don't like to eat in front of him, so I share. Not a good thing. I'm going to hear about that. Sorry, I wish I'd never brought that up. Do animals actually have these problems, though? Can they? Can they do? Certainly. I mean, they're mammals, and they have the same breathing apparatus as we have, right?
Yes, and in scientific labs where they study sleep apnea in animals. You know, they do have a special breed of rat that is a fat rat so that they can see how it affects them on their breathing. So, you know, lab animals actually are where all the beginning studies started.
Yeah, so some rat someplace has had the appliance and the apnea machine and the straps and said, this is not comfortable, my wife hates it. But you're a rat. Do what you have to do to help us out here. We got another call here coming in from Steve in Charleston. Good morning, Steve. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. How's everyone?
We are good into the new year and wanting to help you if we can in any way. What's your question or comment?
Well, okay. Questions and comments, probably.
All right.
First of all, I do use a CPAP. Had a sleep study 2 years ago. I'm a heart patient. Cardiologists suggest I go take the sleep study. In fact, did. They decided that, yes, I was having like 17 episodes an hour.
Wow.
Tremendous. I was mortified, actually.
Well, when you say episodes, that means stop breathing?
Well, they don't like to say that in the business, but they do call them episodes.
All right.
So what they did was, I take the study. Then they make their recommendations. I go back and put the CPAP machine on. Another study, they set my CPAP at a figure that they know what the CFM is or whatever. Well, since this time that I started using my CPAP, at first I did not like it at all, but I started sleeping through the night.
And changed everything you're doing in the day.
After 3 months, I was off 3 of my heart medications.
Wow, that is incredible.
Incredible. So I was listening to the gentleman prior to me, and I understand the concept. I understand it's uncomfortable, and yes, you do have to schlep it around with you, but when it enhances your life and makes you live, then that's a good thing.
Well, that's a good point because Dr. Bailey brought that up earlier, that if you don't have the treatment, then you risk the side effects.
That part. I came in late. But what I would like to know from the doctor is, I am definitely proactive. If there's another, I'm going to call it gadget, out there on the marketplace that I could utilize, that I do a lot of traveling, and I do pack out my CPAP machine. The bag's getting completely worn. So if there's something that I could just place inside my mouth and it adjusts my jaw and it opens up an airway, I'd certainly be all for something like that. And I've been very apprehensive, and the reason why is what I'm using right now works so well.
Yeah, I can understand that, Doctor.
Well, Steve, thank you for calling in. And, if you love your CPAP, it is the gold standard for obstructive sleep apnea. Now, if you're mild to moderate and you can't wear it, which, when I say 60 to 80% ends up in the closet, then an oral appliance is very effective in the majority of patients. And in my office, I have a computer, and, it's not about just jutting your jaw. It's about how far are you going to separate the teeth, and do you actually protrude the jaw any? So I call it the glorified fish finder, because it uses sound waves to determine where are you going to put your jaw in space to get the maximum opening with this oral appliance. Steve, one of my girlfriends who's in Taze Valley, she loves to ride her Harley, and she has sleep apnea, and she said she had a terrible time in her club because when she travels, she disturbed everybody in their tents. The whole club goes, camps, and she can't find a plug-in. So we made my girlfriend an oral appliance when she's out riding her Harley so that she didn't have to worry about plugging in.
I understand.
And, one thing, Steve, if you do travel a lot, in the airports, they have all the signs. If you do carry your CPAP, you have to go through a special inspection.
Yes, I do.
Oh, yes. And I'm always amazed. When I travel, I look and see how many people carry it.
Right.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, you would be tuned into that, but now I'm going to be. Listen, Steve, did we answer any of your questions or help you out there?
Absolutely, you did. And the one thing that I would like to have again, and I missed that too, is the doctor's phone number.
I'm going to give it to you right now. Are you in a position to take it down?
I am.
304-757-7428. And there is a toll-free number too, Steve, 866, and the same numbers, 757-7428.
Well, I certainly appreciate the information, and I will definitely call this number, and I'll try this out because, again, it's it's a fast world, and
it is a fast world. You go ahead and keep your CPAP and keep your airways open. We want you around, buddy.
Thank you kindly, sir, and I appreciate all the information.
One more thing the doctor had for you here.
Yes.
For Mark and Steve and anybody else out there, Major Medical, in the most part, covers about 68 to 80% of the treatment that I perform in the office. So, Major Medical not only is paying for your CPAP, but they recognize that majority of people who can't wear their CPAP, the major medical companies want people to stay healthier. So they actually cover the treatment that I perform.
Excellent.
This is a definite. I will absolutely call this number and make an appointment.
All right, Steve, thanks, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate the call. Let's squeak one more in here before we go to another break, if we can get it in quickly. In St. Albans is Joe. Good morning, Joe. How can we help you?
Good morning. Got a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My CPAP, I've been wearing it for quite a few years now, but the doctor told me that I have a deformity. He said called it the post in my throat were too narrow or too small or something like that. And just for a little information, my CPAP is set at 7 pounds. And I was wondering if the device would help me with the deformity.
In some cases, it does. I'm assuming the back of your throat is very narrow, and I have several patients who have that very narrow opening in the back of their throat, and we can find a good position to open that pipeline up, so to speak, with an oral appliance. 7 pounds pressure, that's pretty average. So, the oral appliance may be able to open up your airway so the pressure could be turned down some. So it is, Joe, for you, an option.
Yeah, well, I use, every night I use one of the nose strips to open my airway in my nose as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked if people could do surgery or anything to get rid of the device, which, of course, if I've got to do something, I will do it because I love my CPAP machine. It's my lifesaver.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are options, and I'll encourage you to give Dr. Bailey a call. That number again is 304-757-7428. And it's the same number with 866 in front to give you toll-free, 866-757-7428. Give our office a call and then stop by and find out. Check it out. See what the options are and how you can do this the most convenient way.
Thank you.
Well, Joe, thank you, buddy. Appreciate your call, and Happy New Year to you. We'll hope to talk to you again sometime. We're going to take a quick break right now and be back with another segment. If you want your call in, you want to make a comment or ask a question of Dr. Bailey, now would be the time to do that at 345-5858 on 58 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
The big inventory clearance sale continues at Pew Furniture, and the entire building is bulging with bargains. Doorbuster specials from $29 to $299. Solid wood twin bed, $99. Solid oak table and chair set reduced from $8.99 $2.99 to $4.99. Double-sided twin mattresses from $99.
Better quality sofa groups from $6.99, plus sectional sofas, reclining sofas, leather sofas, and sleep sofas.
The new Serta iComfort mattress has a 25-year warranty and could be the last mattress you ever have to buy. It even has a free 120-day in-home trial period. The new Serta iComfort. Serta makes the world's best mattress. Pew Furniture does the rest.
Get interest-free financing for up to 12 months on qualified purchases. Whether you want a headboard or a houseful, it's better quality furniture at prices you want to pay. At Pew Furniture Warehouse Showrooms, 1320 Smith Street in Charleston's Furniture District. All prices met at pewfurniture.net.
Making doors move is what we do. We're GDO.
Dad, why do people try to give you peach cobbler everywhere we go?
Well, it all started with a commercial we did a couple years ago.
Which do you boys like better, peach cobbler or blackberry? Signed, Cora from Hurricane. Cora, I'm glad we could save you money. And it's really not necessary to bake us anything, but peach cobbler is my favorite.
You see, when people feel like you go out of your way for them, they like to do the same for you.
So why don't you take the cobbler when they try to give it to you?
Because we're just doing our job. We take care of people because it's the right thing to do, not because we want anything extra from them.
Is that why so much of your business comes from people telling their friends?
Ah, now you're learning.
I still think that's dumb for not taking the cobbler.
Making doors move is what we do. We're GDO.
Garage door operators in Scott Depot. Making doors move is what we do. Call 757-8182 or visit GDOWV.com.
In a perfect world, kids' rooms would always be neat and tidy. Dogs wouldn't shed. Dishes would wash themselves and then jump back into the cabinets where they belong. Furniture would be as comfortable as a Lazy Boy recliner, but it would look like something out of a decorating magazine. Beautiful sofas, sectionals, and chairs, and your choice of hundreds of fabrics and all kinds of options. Oh, wait a minute. Lazy Boy furniture is as comfortable as a Lazy Boy recliner, but it looks like something out of a decorating magazine. Beautiful sofas, sectionals, and chairs in your choice of hundreds of fabrics and all kinds of options. The point being that even if we can never live in a perfect world, at least we can live in a perfect family room. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Get the Pinnacle Rocker Recliner in your choice of decorator colors for just $448. A Clark or Laurel sofa for only $698. Plus amazing financing on approved credit. See store for details. Live life comfortably. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries in Barbersville and South Charleston.
The holiday deals at Moses Factory Outlet have been so incredible, you'll wish you had more time to take advantage of them.
Well, now you do at the 13-month sale at Moses Factory Outlet, home of the Giant Tent Sale.
Last year's pricing on every vehicle in stock.
13 is your lucky number because West Virginia's largest factory outlet is clearing out over 1,000 used vehicles for taxes, so Uncle Sam's loss is your gain.
Stop by today and register to win a $1,000 gift certificate to Kohl's. No purchase necessary.
13-month sale is going on now.
Only at Moses Factory Outlet in Tays Valley.
And Moses Factory Outlet on Corridor G, home of the Giant Tent Sale.
If you'll be exhibiting in a trade show, Fast Signs of South Charleston is your one-stop shop to create everything from banner stands and backdrops to table skirts, foam board signage, and stand-up cutouts. Call Fast Signs at 304-766-9280 or visit online at fastsigns.com/208. Fast Signs of South Charleston will help make your company successful at this year's trade shows.
Here we are back this morning on Ask the Expert with Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey. She is easily located out in Hurricane and at 1401 Hospital Drive. You can give her a call and set up an appointment and sit down and talk to her about these issues you may be having in your family or spouse is, and you want to help them. But remember, you're not just helping them to be less noisy at night. You may be saving their lives. So 304-757-7428. 304-757-7428. And those same numbers can be used with an 866 in front, 866-757-7428, for a toll-free number coming in from outside. Now, Doctor, you off mic we were talking a little bit, and I mentioned that I have family members who grind teeth very badly, so badly that they wake up with jaw pain in the morning, and it takes all day to get rid of it, and medication. Not good for the teeth, not good for the jaw, and I don't know what else it could be doing other than perhaps not giving them the good sleep either. But are there treatments for that as well?
Yes, and it's important to realize, as dentistry has evolved and in looking at sleep apnea, when people grind their teeth, what they're actually trying to do in most cases is open those dilator muscles, the muscles that have collapsed that caused the sleep apnea. You grind your teeth to try and open them up. So if you are bruxing, clenching, or grinding your teeth at night, then that may be an indication that it is sleep apnea.
And I'm just trying
and
to
I'm
think.
not sure that I answered your question
Well,
there.
no, I think that does. But the appliance, but so then by placing the appliance in, you might have a twofold benefit. One is you may eliminate the grinding of the teeth, and you might also get a better passage created for the airway. And if you're in a moderate condition, that probably is maybe all you need. But
Absolutely, Rick.
yeah.
And then, when I put these appliances in, it's very important to watch these people that grind. I would rather them grind up an appliance than their teeth,
There you go.
actually.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, these appliances, they open that airway up and let that pipeline give you oxygen at night. So it's very important, if you are grinding your teeth, realize that may be a warning sign that you have a more serious medical condition.
Can sometimes that be caused just because a person is intensely resting? I mean, they're an intense person and is having intensity dreams or something like that. I mean, are there other neurological reasons for that, or is it generally you're having an apnea problem?
Well, there are other neurological factors that can be involved. It can be,
or psychological or whatever.
Well, stress is a high indicator of grinding your teeth or bruxing at night. Stress is a huge component of that. Sometimes there's a neurological condition. And when I say neurological, the brain is firing to those muscles. So the brain is driving that. And then sometimes when your teeth aren't in balance, they don't touch properly. You actually need braces or orthodontics. My comment in the office is I say, if you can't find it, you're going to grind it. So if your teeth are out of balance, sometimes the body has a protective mechanism. If you can't get in a comfortable spot, you're going to grind that comfortable spot.
Wow, interesting. And you'll do it at night when you're not paying attention. They'll just go to work.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things we're doing now, Rick, is, we are in experimental trials where we do an oral appliance at the same time as we're doing orthodontics. So we're doing two things at one time now.
Well, you got a lot of activity out there, and you certainly are committed to what you're doing. It shows from your heart and right out through the windows of your soul, your eyes, and I appreciate that. We will be taking another very short break here and come back and give you some wrapping information and give you the codes to get in touch with Dr. Bailey. I'll repeat the numbers right now if you'd like to make a quick call and get additional information to you or make an appointment to come in and sit down and talk with her. Please do that at 304-757-7428, 757-7428. That's on Hospital Drive in Hurricane, easy to get to. You can have sleep studies done there. You can have them done in your home as well. And you can look at options to CPAP if you want to do that. I really appreciate the calls we've had so far of the people that have explained what they're doing and how committed they are or aren't to what the process is they're using. And that's a good thing to know. Like Steve said, I don't really want to have to carry this thing around everywhere I go, but I know one thing. It's saving my life. And that, boy, that's a big testimony right there. Thanks for those comments. More of this on the way. You can call right now, 345-5858 if you're interested. We can squeak your call in before the end of the program here on Ask the Expert with Jeannie K. Bailey. Dr. Jeannie K. is here, and we'll be right back on 58 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
They've waited patiently for 12 long months to unveil the largest automotive savings in the universe. And now, the wait is over. Turn to Turnpike Ford as they present the annual Super 13th Month Sale. Turnpike Ford must reduce its entire inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Prices have been slashed throughout the dealership. Let Uncle Sam's loss be your gain.
Take that, Uncle Sam.
Turnpike Ford's Super 13th Month Sale is simply the biggest, best, most epic tax-saving sales event of the year. And it's happening for a limited time only at Turnpike Ford. So act now, because this is one sales event you cannot afford to miss. The Super 13th Month Sale. Turnpike Ford, easy to get to with 2 locations. In Charleston, between Kanawha City and Marmette. In Huntington, 3 blocks down from Marshall Stadium. Or look them up on the web at turnpikeford.com. And remember, Turnpike Ford will not just meet another dealer's price, they'll beat it. Guaranteed. The quickest way to a new Ford is on the Turnpike. Turnpike Ford.
What a pleasure to have Dr. Jeannie K. Bailey on the air today, talking specifically about sleep apnea, the causes and the remedies, and the alternative remedies for you as well. I really appreciate that there are alternatives out there and that you can talk about those things, and that not everybody's the same or experiencing the same symptoms. The one thing that I know Doctor brought up here today that we need to be careful of is that there are risk factors for not treating it, and those are dangerous. So please keep in mind that if you think it's just snoring, no big deal. It very well could be, if not now, later, a problem for you. Is that a decent summary of that?
That's a very good summary. Thank you, Rick.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Doctor. Any last words or comments you want to pass along to folks? And I'll give the numbers at the end here.
Well, just realize that one in 4 people don't sleep together. Husband and wife don't sleep together. And if you have any of the signs and symptoms that we've gone over, as in daytime fatigue or slow reaction time, visual problems or memory loss, you should check in with your local physician to see if you are a sleep apnea person.
Mm-hmm. The sleep apnea, just real quick here, the actual CPAPs, have they changed a lot in the last, say, 5 to 10 years, technology-wise, to make them easier to deal with, more comfortable? I mean, it seems like technology ought to be changing these things all the time somehow.
Yes, they have changed. There are some good alternative, different masks, different straps. Not everyone can wear a full-face mask. Mm-hmm. Some people, they just can't tolerate it. Mm-hmm. If it's putting air in your stomach and you can't wear it, we have comfortable alternatives for that. But CPAPs, they have come a long way over the years.
Okay. And you said adjusting pressure and all, those are all factors in setting it for you and for the need you have. I think one gentleman, Steve or Jim or somebody said, I'm a 7 pound. 7 pound? What do you say? 7
pounds.
Yeah, 7 pound. So that's the pressure that he's receiving. It might be different for somebody else.
Oh, I have a friend, his pressure's so high, I always say you could inflate a tire. So, some people have such a narrow opening in the back or the need for such high pressure
to get
that
through.
You physically cannot have.
Wow. That is definitely setting you up for life-threatening situations. What a pleasure, Dr. Jeannie K. I can remember your name very easily because I got a Jeannie K at home. Appreciate you being here today. Call her up at 304-757-7428. That's over on 1401 Hospital Drive in Hurricane. Easy to get to. 757-7428. If you put 866 in front, you get it toll-free as well. I'm Rick Cochran, and this is Ask the Expert. Hoppy's up next on 58 WCHS, the voice of Charleston.
Home of the 2012 Big East and Discover Orange Bowl champion Mountaineers.